Drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes. I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets.
Good evening. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a great evening. I am your host, Kendrick Henderson, and you are watching the TFG Sports Show, the best 30 minutes on social media. You're going to get that sports talk straight with no chaser. Again, I hope everybody's having a happy Tuesday. Don't try to fix your laptop or your computer or whatever. I'm still here. It's just not filling the screen. Don't know what happened. Maybe a setting got off. So there's nothing wrong with your computers or your Samsung or your Apple devices or whatever. So just we're going to keep rocking and rolling. Real time talk 101. What's up, family? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. You know, I had to mess with you the other night. I didn't realize that was you. But thanks for dropping in. Again, I am your host, Kendrick, Sports Guy, with TFG Sports Media, and this is a TFG Sports Show. You can catch us here every Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m. We're going to give you the hottest takes on the happenings in the sports world. So, again, I hope everybody's having a happy Tuesday. The weather is nice in Texas, man. We finally got some nice weather down here in the big state of Texas. So I hope all is well over there for wherever you guys are watching from. Shantae, thanks for dropping in and tuning in. Thanks for joining us tonight. Again, we're going to give you some of the hot takes in sports that's going on in the past couple of days. Now, I want to start off with something real quick. About 45 minutes ago, you all know, if you're a baseball fan, you know the Major League Baseball has been in the middle of a lockout where they had set themselves a deadline of 5 p.m. Yesterday, they weren't able to come to an agreement on a new CBA, so they decided to push it to the day, till 5 p.m. Well, they didn't come to an agreement, so Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred has already said that we're going to lose the first two series of opening day, which opening day is March the 31st. So right now you're looking at, instead of 162 games, you're looking at 156 games as of right now. Now, talks are supposedly going to continue, but right now opening day is a loss with 2-3 game series that's supposed to take place. Spring training is going to happen when it happens, once they get this deal on the table and get the I's dotted and the T's crossed. So that's Major League Baseball. So we'll see where that goes from here. Again, this is a new month. This is March 1st. We almost the springtime. We're getting ready to get into that weather where everybody's going to be out and about. So we got a lot going on. But so let's go ahead and jump right into this thing. We're going to talk about NCAA. Speaking of which, this is March Madness month too. And we're going to talk about NCAA. The NCAA has loosened marijuana rules for college athletes. Now, I know a lot of people probably going to be looking at this with a side eye when you see that word loosen, because, you know, the rules for marijuana use has been tightened up in a lot of areas. And, well, actually, I'll take that back. It's kind of been loosened in most areas now. Marijuana use is not looked and frowned upon as it used to be, especially in athletics. So I was kind of shocked when I saw this, because I know a lot of people are going to look like this with their eyebrows raised. But the NCAA has loosened marijuana rules. And what this means is the threshold for you to be tested positive or to have to, will have to get some sort of reprimand. They have kind of increased that. And what that means is the maximum THC threshold. THC is the ingredient that's found in marijuana. It has, for college athletes in mandatory drug tests, had been 35 nanograms, which is 1 billionth of a gram for all my physicists out there. Now they have raised that, the NCAA has, to 150 nanograms per milliliter. So basically they're saying that you can smoke up to, or the THC level can be up to 150 nanograms, and you'll still be okay. You will still fall under the positive test. You won't be given a positive test. Now, here's the part that's key. Athletes keep their eligibility after up to 3 positive tests. Their first positive test the school must provide a management plan and education for the athlete. So basically, what this says is athlete can basically flunk 3 tests over his athletic career at college. But if he flunks that first test, the school has to put him and get a management plan together for that particular student, that athlete, to I guess not continue to keep getting positive tests. Now that's kind of confusing because it's saying that you can have 3 positive tests and still keep your eligibility, but that fourth positive test is when they take your eligibility and you won't be allowed to play in your particular sport. So again, this is the new NCAA marijuana rules for college athletics. I think it depends on how you look at marijuana. Again, I think the stigma on marijuana has changed a little bit now for athletes because actually a lot of marijuana is used for pain, for pain medicine too. I know a lot of NFL and a lot of NBA athletes have been, they have been talking about, hey, we need to make this marijuana legally because it's one of those things that, especially if it's medicinal, it definitely it helps for certain ways and for certain injuries in athletes. Now, I don't think this new rule means that college athletes can go out and just be getting smoked all willy nilly, getting all Snoop Dogg high. I'm not thinking that's what this rules means, but this it's gonna cause some concern, I think, for some people, because I think some young 18, 19, and 20-year-olds gonna take this and run with it and think they can push the envelope with it. But I think the NCAA is finally seeing that, you know what, we can have all these rules in the world when it comes to marijuana, but marijuana is not looked at that drug that it used to be. It's not really frowned upon. I think a lot of times alcohol is more of a detriment to athletes than marijuana, but that's just my opinion. Some look at marijuana totally different. So now these rules are gonna take it. They going into effect as of now. Matter of fact, they started talking about this back in the fall of 2021, the summer of 2021. But yeah, it is going into effect now. So that's going to be the new rules from here on out. College athletes, they still will be tested. They still will have to go through mandatory drug testing programs. But the nanograms, the THC level, which that's what's in marijuana, they have increased it from being 35 to 150 nanograms per milliliter if you doesn't don't pass a test. So we'll see. We got the NCAA March Madness coming around. We're going to see if they're going to be testing players there and see if some of these key players might end up, at this point, if they flunk once, they'll be okay. Shantae says makes sense since it's legal in a bunch of states, just like alcohol. I agree, Shantae. But the NCAA is that old school, that old head. They just stuck in the dark ages, as I say. But I think they finally getting it. Now, the other thing this could affect, college athletes have that NIL, the name, image, likeness now. And so these college students and athletes, both men and women, they can make money off of their name, image, and likeness. Now, they definitely got to be careful if they're smoking that marijuana. That could mess up some of these deals. Some sponsors ain't trying to have one of they athletes want to pay you if you're getting high and you flunking tests. So, again, college athletes are still going to have to be responsible if they're going to decide to smoke. Like, again, I said you can't be smoking like Snoop Dogg. You just have to be wary of that and understand you are a business. And I hope these college student athletes understand that. So we're gonna see. Well, I'm gonna keep my eye on this because it's gonna be interesting to see how this works out for both the schools and the athletes. So let's move on to our next topic. We staying in college. We staying in Grambling State. Now, when I made this line, Grambling State hires former Baylor coach Art Briles. Well, you need to put just on your computer, just put a slash through hires, because actually Art Briles has resigned. He resigned as of yesterday. He got a lot of backlash. Grambling got a lot of backlash. The new head coach, actually Hugh Jackson, got the most backlash because what's funny, he actually made the announcement through his foundation on letterhead, which I thought was kind of weird from the jump too. I don't really think the university was on board with this hire. I definitely know Doug Williams wasn't, because he can form a Grambling great. He came out and said he didn't want to have anything to do with Grambling after they made this hire. Now, Art Browse did make a statement that said that he was thankful for the opportunity, but because of all of the exposure and all of the things that the school is going through, he felt like he was distraction, and he decided to withdraw and resign as position of offensive coordinator for the Grambling State Tigers. Shante says that pressure will bust a pipe. Made that boy resign. Made him resign in a heartbeat. Shante sure did. The pressure was on Grambling. Me personally, I thought it was nothing against Art Browse. I mean, obviously, I don't think he should be a head coach. I mean, this is nothing personal. But when he was just to give y'all the background on Art Browse, he was a former head coach at Baylor. In 2016, he was fired and he hadn't coached in college since May 2016. He was suspended and subsequently fired after 8 seasons following independent investigation into Baylor's handling of sexual assault allegations during his tenure. There was 31 players accused of 52 rapes during his tenure at Baylor. And he pretty much turned a side eye to all that. And specifically one he knew about, and he didn't report it in a timely manner. So, in a way, I'm Hugh Jackson, man. Wow. I mean, like, again, I don't know Art Browse. I'm not saying the man shouldn't work, but he shouldn't be I don't think he should be a coach or a head coach at a collegiate level or high school level. Now, he did coach at the high school in East Texas. He was hired at Mount Vernon. And that was an uproar. A lot of the community wasn't happy about them hiring him there, as well. But I just don't know why Hugh Jackson thought this was a great idea to bring in Art Browse. I'm not saying he's not a good coach, but just considering all that baggage he was bringing with him, that's going to follow him. Even the CFL didn't want to have nothing to do with him. And that's a professional league. So I can just imagine. I'm surprised that Hugh Jackson with this route of all the capable and of offensive coordinators out there, experienced coordinators out there, you had to go for Art Browse. I don't get that. But again, after 4 days of being on the job, Art Browse said, "You know what? Nah, I think I'm just going to respectfully resign." Shante says, "See, he didn't need to be in charge of anyone's program." Exactly. Even though he wasn't the head guy, but he was still a coach. He was going to be an offensive coordinator. He's still going to be leading young men. And then just think about the victims. The victims from this Baylor investigation. Now, again, Art Browse was not convicted of any crimes. Let me say that. He wasn't convicted of any crimes. And Baylor is still dealing with this situation. But think about these victims that have to see this, those that were victims, these women, to see that, Art Browse is able to kind of carry on with his life, get jobs here and there, where those young women lives won't never be the same. So Hugh Jackson made a big, I put the blame on Hugh Jackson at the end of the day, because he had the power to hire him. So, I was singing Hugh Jackson's praises a couple of weeks ago, but I got to give him an L on this one, Hugh. You took an L on this one. That was just not a good move. So Grambling will move on. They now will be looking for an offensive coordinator, and we're going to keep our eye on Hugh Jackson to see how he handles the rest of this situation and situations that's coming up. Because the HBCUs right now are in the spotlight. With Coach Prime, with Deion, what he done at Jackson State and is doing. And a lot of these HBCUs now is getting that light, and then to have this kind of take away from that, I just thought that was a bad decision on Hugh Jackson. That's just my opinion. So anyway, Art Browse no longer going to coach at Grambling State. So let's move on to our next topic. Staying with football, y'all know the Cowboy fans out here. I know Shante one. He was aware of an assault and slow walked it, but that's not okay. You're right. He knew about it. He didn't report it in a timely manner, so that makes him just as guilty. I agree, Shante. And we're talking about your Super Bowl quarterback, not Shante. We're moving to Fox NFL analyst Troy Aikman to ESPN. Is it a done deal, or is it just rumor? Well, the rumors has it that Troy is leaving to go to ESPN to be in the booth for Monday Night Football. The deal is reportedly worth 5 years, $90 million. That's what's being reported by a reporter out of the New York Daily, that Troy They still working out the numbers, but Troy, after 21 years at Fox, is leaving Fox to go be in the booth at ESPN Monday Night Football. Now, let's be honest. ESPN Monday Night booth has left a lot to be desired since Mike Tirico and John Gruden left. They've been playing musical chairs with people in the booth just to find that right chemistry. I think a lot of times people don't understand doing analyst work and play by play and color commentating. First of all, it's not as easy as it looks, and then you got to have people that have chemistry. Shantae Gibson says judgment was definitely off on that one. You definitely, I agree. You got to have chemistry. You got to have the right fit. And I think ESPN Monday Night has been searching for that right fit since Tirico left and Gruden left. They tried Booger McFarland and Testatori, I believe, and a couple of other people. Let's not forget Jason Witten. They tried it. It just it just didn't work. I don't care what anybody say. If you're doing that, if you calling football, you gotta have that chemistry. And Troy and Joe Buck definitely, they worked together for 21 years. So Troy is deciding to leave now. Who are they going to pair with Troy at ESPN? That's up in the air. We do know Al Michaels, the legendary Al Michaels. His contract ran out with NBC. He doesn't have a home. Will they pair him with Troy? Shantae says, love my Cowboys, but Troy can go to the hottest corner of Hades. What? He's a hater. See, I don't get this with Cowboy fans. Me personally, I like Troy in the booth. I like him better than Romo. I think Romo is I know everybody was crazy about Romo when he first came. I just think Romo is I've always liked Troy. And the reason why, I mean, he calls it like he see it. I think he's calling it from a total perspective. And see, that's a tough place to be in too. When you're a former player of a team and then you call in their games, because you can't be too positive than people just saying, oh, you still a fanboy. But then if you're too negative, they say, oh, he's just a hater. So you got to find that fine line. And me personally, I think Troy does an excellent job calling Cowboys games. But again, I'm the outside looking in. I ain't the Cowboy fans. I know y'all getting y'all feelings when somebody talk about your team. So, but I think Troy is good in the booth. I've always liked him in the booth. I think him and Al Michaels would make a good team. Me personally, Witten was really bad. That wasn't his ministry. I agree. Hey, Sante, it just ain't for everybody. And then it takes time too. I mean, again, it's not easy sitting in front of this microphone talking to people, especially calling a game, a sports event, or whatever. Just even talking, it ain't easy. I just think that some people just naturally gifted and can do it. I think Jason Witten looked uncomfortable doing it, but just some people just was natural. Michael Irvin, Deion is natural. Those guys are just naturally gifted in front of Al Michaels, Joe Buck. Again, those guys, John Madden, the late great John Madden, those guys just was naturally gifted in front of the mic and had personality. Now, the rumor is allegedly, supposedly, Joe Buck may be leaving as well. ESPN may be trying to court Joe to come to ESPN and pair up with Troy. So where will they leave Fox? Fox is going to have to figure out who they're going to have coming in. I'd like to know who you guys think should replace Troy at Fox. Because he's most likely, it sounds like it's a done deal. He's leaving. So who should replace Troy at Fox? Who would you like to see as their number one NFL broadcast team? Shantae says, he speaks on the Cowboys outside of the booth when it's free to be quiet. Okay, Shantae. Obviously, you don't like Troy Aikman. Okay, got you. But me personally, I do like him in the booth. But who would you like to see replace him at Fox? Some people, they're saying Greg Olsen may be the guy that move up to that spot, who former Carolina Panther. I think this was his first year in the booth, I believe, or second year. But they're saying Greg Olsen may be one of the guys they be looking at. I don't know. It's a lot of guys out there that, I'm going to tell you who I really like. He does more college stuff. I like Gus Johnson. I think he would be great, me personally. I think he would be great with even Troy Aikman. But he doesn't call. He calls mostly basketball, but he called a little football this season. So it's Fox got some things to do, and Amazon Prime is going to have to look for somebody too, because they got the Thursday Night Football package this season. So they're going to be looking to bring in their color commentators and play-by-play guys too. So I don't know, but I think don't be surprised if you see Al Michaels at ESPN with Troy or Amazon Prime. So we'll see. But Troy getting that paper. Check an interesting stat that Troy has already made more money uh, in front of the camera than he did under center in football. That just shows you how the money is there in TV now. With Romo making $17 million a year, they're saying Troy is this deal is going to be 5 years, $90 million deal over the term. So he's going to be making around. He's going to be making a little bit more than Romo. So the money is there in television now. As far as these ex-pro football guys, again, Troy's going to be making more money than he made as quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and he played 12 seasons, I believe. So replace him with Romo. Okay, Romo can stay on CBS. I don't think he's that great, but oh well, he ain't going nowhere. They locked him in at that 17 million. So, but you never know. This is contracts. Contracts are meant to be broken. So you just never know what happens in the television game. Sorry, we're gonna stay in the NFL. And guess what, guys? It's March 1st. And guess what this week is? The NFL Combine is back. It starts on Thursday. They actually started today with press conferences in Indianapolis, Indiana. This is the NFL Combine has been going on since 1982. But again, the kickoff started today with press conference with different coaches and management from different teams. Scouts from all 32 teams are on hand at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. So the combine is finally back. Didn't have it last year because of the pandemic. So they were able to bring it back this year. The actual workouts won't start until Thursday. The schedule is the quarterbacks, wide receivers, the tight ends will start on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. All this is on NFL Network. And then on Friday, March 4th, is the running backs, the offensive linemen, these special teams. Again, that's at 4 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Then on Saturday, March 5th, we got the defensive linemen and linebackers at 4 p.m. Eastern as well. And then on Sunday, the defensive backs at 2 p.m. Eastern. All this on NFL Network. Now, if you just want to watch guys do their thing, it's kind of like this is where they can either their stock can go up or their stock can go down, one or the other. This is where it happens. A lot of football players made their name in these draft at this combine. So there may be a sleeper that's coming out of here. And matter of fact, a couple of names. One name I know they said two names that they mentioned that's keep your eye on is Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton and Georgia defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt. So those are two names they said Pro Football Focus said to keep your eye on. Now, what do they do at the scouting combine? Some people don't want to watch all it. Well, drills, they do the 40-yard dash, the bench press, the vertical jump, the broad jump, the 3-cone drill, the 20-yard shuttle, and the 60-yard shuttle. So those are some of the drills. Those are the drills that they put all of these players through to see if they can make their stock rise, or some may have a bad showing. But I think when you're in the shorts and shirt, it ain't real football. You're just doing drills. I mean, until you get on some pads and start hitting somebody, I mean, everybody look good in shorts and shirts. I always said playing basketball, yeah, everybody look good in pregame. Everybody look good in warm up, can hit shots. What you gonna do when that clock start though? When the game get going? Lamar Falk, thank you, brother. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Hope you're having a good evening. So yes, the NFL Combine is back. One of the things we're gonna see, will the 40-yard dash record be broken? Now, this record was set by John Ross, who played a couple of years with the Cincinnati Bengals. He ran a 4.2240 at the combine. It's still a record. Now, they say it's this kid out of San Antonio, UT San Antonio, cornerback Tariq Woolen. They said he has already been clocked at a 4.2 flat. He's a cornerback out of UT San Antonio. So remember that name. If this 4.22 come off the record book for the combine record, they're saying that this cornerback, UT San Antonio's Tariq Woolen, has ran a 4.2 flat, and it may possibly be broken this year. So I watch a little bit of the combine. I want to see really it's the quarterbacks and the wide receivers that I pretty much look for and look at, and then the DBs as well. After a while, you get tired of seeing guys running 40s and doing a vertical jump, broad jump. But it's a chance to get other information too as well. They reported on what offseason free agency going and all that type stuff as well. So again, the NFL Combine is back after not having it last year. So it'll be something to watch this weekend if you are NFL. Now, another thing about the NFL, free agency, the new league year, it opens March the 16th. That's where teams can start signing guys, signing free agents. The new salary cap is all that is all up and going. So you're going to probably, in the next couple of weeks, starting today, you're going to start hearing more talk about free agencies. What's going on? We got the thing going on with Aaron Rodgers. Is he staying in Green Bay or is he retiring or will they trade him? We got this situation in Arizona with their quarterback and management. Kyler Murray, his agent sent a letter to the team, I think yesterday, laying out what they're wanting in his contract. I don't think that was a great move, but to each his own. I guess what they say, if you don't ask, you won't know. So they've already laid out the parameters on what's going on. So that situation in Arizona is kind of funny to me. Because Kyler Murray still has this was his third year of his rookie deal. He still got another year on that deal, and Arizona can actually his fifth year, they can pick up his fifth year option if they want to. So he's trying to negotiate early and get that money. I get it. You want to get taken care of, but really the Cardinals really have all the leverage right now. So we're going to keep our eye on that situation too. There's been rumors out there that the Arizona Cardinals may trade Kyler Murray for the right price. So with this going on between them and management, we're going to keep our eye on that again. So again, the NFL is opening up and the deadline to franchise tag athletes. The deadline to franchise tag is March the 8th. So it's a lot of athletes aren't going to be waiting. They don't really like that franchise tag because most of the time that means that you get the average salary of the 5 highest paid people at your position. And that's not really giving you that security that NFL players look for. That's why you always see them wanting to sign long-term deals, just like Kyler Murray. Even though he's just in his third year of his rookie deal, he's wanting to go ahead and get that extension to get that, first of all, get more of your guaranteed money, but to also get that security that, in NFL, most of their contracts aren't guaranteed. The only guaranteed money they actually get is their signing bonus most of the time. So that's where you're going to start seeing a lot more wheeling and dealing with the NFL now. Again, as I said, the NFL Combine actually started today with press conferences, and then all the other activities will begin on Thursday. So we've been talking football. We're going to keep talking football. Again, if you didn't hear, baseball lockout is still locked out. They have already lost opening day. 6 games was already, it ain't happening, according to Commissioner Rob Manfred. So right now, instead of the normal 162 game season, right now it's only going to be 156. Talks are supposedly going to continue until then. Right now, spring training is being pushed back. So we're going to see what happens with baseball. Again, I don't think, me personally, I'm not a big baseball fan. It's not my pastime. I know they say it's America's pastime, but it ain't mine. I know we got a lot of people that love baseball out there, but I ain't never been that crazy about baseball. So until then, I can watch NBA TV. We got the NBA still going on. What team is going to be going where? The Lakers right now don't look too good. There's been reports, there's rumblings that there's unhappiness in Lakerland between LeBron and his team, Clutch Sports, and management. So we're going to keep an eye on that situation. There's been talks about possibly will LeBron get traded? LeBron being traded? We'll see. I doubt if that happens. I don't see that Lakers trading LeBron, but that's been talk out there. So again, we'll see. All right, down to my final thoughts. My final thoughts tonight is Grambling State, as much as he hit a home run with Hugh Jackson with his signing day, he signed 38 guys. He signed the HBCU Legacy Bowl, just coming out of that with Doug Williams and James Harris, who are Grambling State alumni, had a great showing there. And then to see that Hugh Jackson made this hire of Art Browse. That just kind of took the wind out of the sails of all that's been good happening for HBCU, specifically Grambling. But I will say, hats off to, I will give Art Browse props for resigning. Go ahead and resign, because this wasn't going to be good for either you or the school. So at least Art Browse was man enough to say, you know what, let me just bow out of this gracefully. But I put all this blame on Hugh Jackson. He should have never been hired anyway. And we're going to see if this is going to put a strain between Hugh Jackson and Grambling State University and their alumni. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. But I really think Hugh Jackson, he tripped up on this one. Art Browse kind of saved him. And let's hope that Hugh Jackson get it together. And when you make a decision to make a hire, make sure you vet that person. Again, I don't know Art Browse. I ain't saying he a bad person, but he definitely messed up at Baylor. And he shouldn't be coaching when there's other candidates out there, I think, that's just as experienced as he was. And Hugh Jackson just dropped the ball on that. So that's my thoughts. So anyway, you've been watching TFG Sports Media. I am your host, Kendrick Henderson. Thanks for joining me. Make sure you keep it locked here. Come join me every Tuesday night at 6:30. And Shantae said, I like baseball. Okay, Shantae, I got your apple pie coming. So make sure, and it's might be a while before you see a game. You might have to watch reruns on my MLB network. But I got your apple pie coming. But again, thanks for watching, Shantae. Thanks for watching, Lamar. Guys, make sure you tune in every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. I am your host again, Kendrick Henderson. This has been a TFG Sports Media show. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel on YouTube and TFG TV as well, and follow it on Facebook. So this has been it for me. You guys have a good evening. I'm out. Peace.
That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa. I hit record it, drop, you can't ignore it.